Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Frozen, and today I'm playing some Hades because I would just like to. We're going to take this shield, we're going to have some fun, we're going to take Zeus's boon, and we're going to go Thundershock mode because I just feel like that is what I want to do. That is correct. We're just gonna do some stupid stuff. Really? Like, I've only got, like, No. Really? Like, okay. I guess I'll take that, and yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to go on in the 3 heat with this one. I thought I was higher up on that.
Life without a little pain.
But yeah, how are we all doing? Myself, I'm doing alright. I've got lots of plans for all sorts of things that I'll try and figure out and do at the moment.
I really anticipate getting to meet you face to face someday, dear nephew. Just as soon as you can up and out of there.
Special, thank you very much. That's what we wanted. This is going to be so good, this run already, before we start. Oh, can't do that. But yeah, I mean, like chilling out and like watching stuff, enjoying things and stuff like that at the moment, which is kind of nice. Although I've got a slight annoyance and peeve about certain things that are just kind of like repeatedly coming up and things. Although saying that,
the power of the gods.
I managed to have a entertaining first act on the altars, which I finished the other day when I had a bit of time to play it. And I must say, that sort of like end of first act song that just came up out of nowhere really put a big smile on my face. It was just one of those moments where I was just like, actually this just makes me happy, and I'm gonna like later down the line probably be like really upset over that when I actually like kind of end up finishing it and stuff. I've still got to finish Clair Obscure as well, because that's just on my list of stuff, and I know it's been out for ages. I just have not had the time. Like, I could play it now, but I just feel like I'm playing a bit of Hades just because it's more of a quick thing. Do other people kind of feel like that as well when it's like a game, like an RPG or stuff, where it's like going to take a heavy amount of time investment? Do you feel like you'd rather just play it when you have the time, or do you mind just dropping in and out of it on repeat? I'm a person that kind of likes to get to certain points before I stop playing, which means that I have this point where I get kind of like almost like obsessively compulsed about getting to that point where I feel like, yes, I can end the story here for a moment. You know? Or is that just me? But yeah. I mean, I've really got into like the gaming music stuff again, stuff like that, which has kind of really caught my attention, which is kind of awesome. Special deals for damage to foes when you catch it. I just take the Bull Rush, I think, actually, because that will just help kind of take that off the list. So we can just go that. So yeah, I'm kind of enjoying the music of stuff a little bit more at the moment, which is kind of cool. I think it's like some of the Clair Obscura stuff on the music side is like really good in a way that like I kind of always liked music. I kind of like building music that builds up over time and stuff and gets more and more complex as you go through it, and kind of has different sort of changes to kind of emphasize sort of like the story kind of integration and things like that within the music itself, which is really good. And I think like they really explain that quite well within.
How goes it with old Master Thanatos of late, Prince Zed? Is he at least less stern with you than with the poor mortals he's sent to take in here?
Oh, Thanatos is doing all right. Much like my father, I think he feels he has some sort of fearsome reputation to uphold. Or maybe he's perpetually stressed over his work. But he's been well lately.
That's good, I guess. Always appreciated that he ultimately took me in, rather than having to show up here through much more sudden, much more painful means. Didn't stop me from trying to avoid the trip, of course.
Well, I'll take the darkness here. Thank you very much, my friend. Baldy, have another gift.
A tribute to the greatest boulder of all time.
I will always do it. Baldy always gets something. But yeah, I've been kind of enjoying just like music in games, and I saw an interesting article, or not article, YouTube video. I forget who it was by, but I kind of only really kind of glanced through it and kind of had it in the background while doing stuff, and it was talking about the comparisons between like the Clair Obscure and is it oh my god, I forgot the name of it now and I feel like really annoyed. Not Fantasio, no. Oh my god, my brain is having malfunction. I'm gonna hate myself later. The one that's done by the Persona people that kind of came out this year as well. Oh, it's going to annoy me that I don't know the name of it. And I think I've... It's right, it's like it's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm there, but I'm not quite grabbing it. Oh well. But yeah, like they were comparing both of those games and sort of like how one is just a...
Let's go, Doomstone.
Sort of like a continuation of the industry as a whole, right? And the other game is a kind of a progression of it and stuff. And I was like, that kind of makes sense, right? Like mistakes, guys, Jolt. That's fine. And it's kind of like things where I necessarily, I don't think overall when you're looking at games, any one is better than the other as such, right? Like, one has refined everything to a T and is a really interesting story, and that's kind of why you play RPGs most of the time. It's not for the battle mechanics or anything else as well. It's just, that's just it all dressed up in a nice kind of, like, interactable suit as such. It's more about the story, the characters, and the development of stuff, and all those sort of things alongside it, right? Like that is why you play an RPG. It's the character interactions that you play it for more often. Having a good battle system is nice, but it's not like a requirement in most cases. I think if you got like a really good story that you could do, your battle mechanics could literally just be as simple as like rock, paper, scissors, which, to be honest, some of them technically are, just with a bit more complexities than that. Sorry, that's kind of a bit of a low blow on some games, to be honest. But I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. But yeah, so... I mean, like, it is one of those things, like, with all the RPGs and stuff like that, what do people mainly, like what do you guys enjoy about them most of the time you do get to play them? Well, do you even like RPGs? Are you more of a shooter fan, a sports game fan, like, or roguelike fan, if you're watching this? Watch this and you hate my content. Brilliant. That's exactly what I want to hear. Yeah, we'll go shop there, I think, because I think that's the time, isn't it? Yeah. I'm correct. Cool. We'll get this first, so I get the level up. That's more damage there. Attacks knock foes away. That seems great for me. I'll take that. Don't need the healing, so let's continue.
Got a feeling it's Tisiphone this time.
No.
I guess I was wrong.
Tell me something, Zach, because I'm curious. Do your Olympian relatives know the real reason you've been trying to escape?
I'll get around to that in due time.
You're in over your head, you idiot. You'll fray what bonds are left between Lord Hades and those ingrates on Olympus.
Well, what do you care at that point? But yeah, I'm kind of interested in, like, what do people like playing as such, right? Like, for me, I've always been a mixture of, like, just, like, entertaining games, a bit of action, a bit of, good storytelling and stuff like that. I think I find that I like good storytelling a lot more than I like anything else. Which is actually, this is a thing that I'm going to moan at a little bit now as well when it comes to RPGs in general and everything else as well. And just like any sort of like role-playing game that kind of comes along that's meant to try and tell a story. Please don't give me a wall of text. I am not reading all that stuff. I will skip cutscenes because of it. I know, and I really agree, voice acting is very expensive. I am not denying that in the slightest. I'll take this one this time. But you kind of lose me the moment that,
Just go on.
I have to go through literally a wall of text to understand what's going on. I ain't reading it. And the thing is, like, it's not like as simple as like, oh, you know, it's just like, you know, a quick cutscene text thing and you're there. It is like, it's non-voice acted. There's nothing really in regards to movement going on, so more like vignette style or things like that as well. It's literally just a forced perspective of me just staring at someone kind of a la Bethesda Studios. And then, like, it just, yeah, I gotta read through text. Now, I will admit I have been spoiled in many ways of the fact that I had a lot of voice-acted games as a child and everything else as well, and that gave me the kind of first experience with a lot of RPGs was, in some cases, just not a wall of text. At the same time as well, though, I did have games that they weren't voice-acted, but I didn't feel like I was actually trying to, like, go through an entire autobiography trying to understand what was going on. Stuff was left to context clues or other things as well. But, yeah. You know, if you can't grab my attention enough to, essentially, make me want to read stuff, then you probably have failed anyway, or you'll just give me way too much information to the point where I don't really need all that information anyway, right? But it's been happening way too much recently, like I don't mind some wall of text and things like that, where it's just, like, understandable, like, you've got a bit of things and stuff, and, you know, main characters are always doing and talking.
That's something.
But it's just, yeah. What's other people's thoughts on that? Like, do you mind the wall of text? Or it's not even a wall of text, that's the worst thing about it. It's the fact that you know for a fact that, like, it's like a little bit of reading, then a little bit more reading, a little bit more reading, a little bit more reading, and then literally like 10 minutes later I'm still in the middle of a conversation reading just more and more text. You know? And it's nice to see the characters' interaction, but then when you're staring at a still screen or just a picture of the characters or stuff, or still images or unresponsive facial expressions, stuff like that, you get no feedback and it's really annoying. Some of the games that used to do this pretty well, I think, are a lot of like the Persona games and stuff, where you still had some level of feedback of what was going on, and the, you know, the sort of different style of a... Let's take some health actually on this, because otherwise we're going to get ourselves beaten up. But yeah, like, you know, they have like expression kind of I keep forgetting the word for it. Not like animations, but like a still image of them just expressing their surprise or shock or horror or those sort of things, right? They had like emotional character designs which could be there, and they were very expressive with their art style or stuff like that. But then most of these ones now are more very generic, or they're using the same game engine, and they don't feel very different or unique enough for me to pay attention. And then because the fact that, well, what's the way I probably put it? What is the way I probably put it? Let's go this one. It's kind of like you get really no, I guess it's not. I want to be fair about it. At the same time as well, I don't know how to explain it. I want to explain it.
Farewell, gigantic.
Good tidings, nephew. I've learned that you have managed to get all the way to Asphodel. Fine work. Now you just keep on going.
Dash boons would always... Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Affect some more damage to bosses. That's also pretty good. I would like the Rupture though, but we can get a level up on that maybe later. More damage to bosses with just my attacks would be pretty good. So, I think like in most of the stories, like you need early voice acting with most RPGs and stuff, because I think that's what allows you to capture the attention and kind of really get the emotions and expressions, the intention of the characters off the quickest and the most efficient, right? Not saying that writing can't do that, but the thing is you are going to try and make people read and interact with characters that they barely know, that they have no investment in, into a story that they barely understand, immediately to try and grab people's attention. And give me a wall of text to read, or a bunch of text to read about characters that I do not care or barely understand, is not a great way to get me to kind of empathize with characters and want to listen to their stories as such, right? Now that might be a bit of a hot take, I'm not going to deny that, but I do believe that is something where, only in my opinion, I would prefer to kind of have those voices, have the interaction with the characters, the fact that I can understand them and kind of really kind of make me empathize with them a lot better and grow that bond, essentially, with me actually caring about their struggles and stuff by having them be more expressive in that early part of the game. Take this, and then we get this.
Hey, cheers for picking up the tab there, Zag. Now, I cannot exactly pay you back, though I could give you this.
It's just fine. Right? I mean, that might be me nitpicking on stuff, because I might be spoiled rotten when it comes to games and stuff. Like, I'm not going to say that I am, or, that I'm not spoiled. But I think it's just sort of like a difference in sort of like the expectation of, like, I played a lot of RPGs that, regardless of what they were, they always used to make me care about the characters and their struggles and their kind of like wants and desires and stuff like that, to the point where, like, I actually genuinely wanted to listen to what they said. Regardless if I, was annoyed with their opinion or stuff like that, I still wanted to know, right? Whether it was the betrayals, whether it was the, or like, or just like the general losses and stuff like that. Like, I wanted to know these things, and I wanted to hear it from the characters themselves, and I think the voice acting really kind of helped solidify that in my mind of, like, what they sounded like, and get the intention across of what they actually really wanted to do and stuff, Which I think is a difficult thing to do without voice acting. Not saying you can't do it without voice acting, just saying it's a bit more difficult in the sense of, like, grabbing their attention and maintaining it, especially in this day and age when, people literally have a 5-second attention span. Well, no, it's 30 seconds, isn't it, for any sort of short and video clip. Right? It's why I appreciate all of you paying attention to my nonsense for like about an hour or half an hour or however long my videos are sometimes. But yeah, I mean, there's a few different things I'm doing with the channel. I've got a editing, which I'm hopefully just trying to finish up on one game, which I thought was just kind of funny, and seeing kind of how that's going to try with the channel, and then, just see people enjoy it and stuff. And I'll probably want some feedback on that if people do see it when it does go up. Still trying to finish that off. I'm doing a little interesting series, which is my beautiful overthinking series. Increase the rarity of next spoon, sounds great. My over-analyzing series of doing that with Spell Rogue at the moment, and I might extend that to a bunch of other things as well, where I just end up like nitpicking over everything and really looking into stuff that sometimes might be a little bit too far, and kind of really show off how obsessive I can be over games and stuff, From like just the general intent of kind of like how stuff makes you feel, the reasons why stuff may happen, how it comes across to an audience or to me in particular. I don't know. I mean, if people are interested in stuff like that, I don't mind doing it, and sort of like, my own experience with games. It'll be one of those ones I probably end up doing with games I've really played a lot of or had a high amount of heavy investment in. Just because at the moment I won't be able to do it with like stuff I don't understand, right? Or I haven't played in a while, that's the other thing as well, because there are games I still enjoy, but my knowledge on them is not as optimized as most other people's. But yeah, I mean, if that's something you guys kind of would like to see or stuff, like, let me know, because I kind of like doing stuff like that.
Boss, I might suggest you be very quick about it, and might give you this.
Attacks are faster. Special is faster. I like my special being faster. That sounds great.
The haste of Hermes.
Disappointed it didn't give me the thing I wanted, but you know. No, I don't want darkness. We'll just go here and get more health. Just got the boon from my boy Dionysus. I swear I got a bromance with that guy. I think they did dirt in the second one. I don't get to see him enough. You know, and he really does come off with the whole kind of like surfer general attitude of like, yo, dude. But yeah, and there's all been all sorts of bunch of drama and stuff of just people being stupid and silly and things like that as well. Like is that me, or are just people dumber than what they used to be, or is it people are just taking advantage of like the fact that, you know, people kind of just don't question stuff as much anymore, you know? Or is that just me? But yeah, so I'm... Ooh, I want kind of both of those, don't I? Do I want both of those? That seems really nice. I would like the boons, but it's going to be quite a big fight for that. I probably want to go with the hammer and see if we can just get all the upgrades to the shield and that. You know. That might be a good idea. But yeah, depending on the time frame and stuff, we'll try and like figure out a bunch of other things as well, where it's just like learning kind of cool stuff. I do laugh as well. I've had some financial struggles, not really struggles, but just more annoyances. But still, they mean that my finances for this month are tighter than what I would like them to be. And probably for next month as well, just because the fact that my car decided the fact they wanted to have more punctured tires, at which point now I got to fork out money for that, which was not great. After special hits, the next 2 attacks do 8% damage. 8+ damage, that's cool. Does not knock away foes. That's kind of useful with the boon I have, I think. Right? Yeah, I'm going to take that. Why not? I want to see that. Does that take the knockout away? I'll take the gold here, I think, because I think I've actually got a pretty good setup. Healing. Thank you very much. I'll take that and leave. And take lightning, because we've already got lightning build. No, okay, still knocks away then. Just not as much as it was before. But yeah, I'm kind of got a few different things I would like to do, and I got a lot to sort out. Balance finances, usual stuff. I got to pick some extra work up because of the issue with my car, which is kind of why some of the my videos have been a little bit more lax in me uploading my schedules and stuff, so kind of like it's not bad, it's just don't bother to try and strike twice. Yeah, I'll take that, why not? If he strike twice, I could do a good amount of damage. Let's go to the shop. Pick up that and go this.
You're difficult to track there in the depths, cousin, though the boatman Charon thankfully is proving of some help.
Brilliant. That dash upgrade is exactly what I wanted. Oh, it wasn't the end. Disappointed. Let's go gems. I could go darkness, but let's get some more gems, shall we?
Flame wheels.
Just gonna go here and just hang around this thing. Yes, that's it. I got this boomerang coming around chasing after me. This is great. But yeah, some interesting stuff really, more than anything else. And, you know, work hard, play hard, all that jazz. What else is kind of going on at the moment, really? I mean, there's some of the Twitch drama and everything else as well, but I kind of stay away from stuff like that just because I don't really care. Like, everyone seems to want to argue with everyone else as well. I'm like, really? Is like this the best use of your time is to do this? And then they go and shoot themselves in the foot and cause all the other problems, which I've been seeing as well and kind of laughing at. So I'm like, yeah, someone's getting punished for being stupid. At the same time as well, I'm kind of like, really? Is this what we class as, like, entertainment now? It's always like the whole argument over like fair use and what is deemed as fair use, what is allowable as fair use and all that jazz, you know. And then like, you know, people kind of taking advantage of that with how like React streaming works and like... Yeah, personally, I mean, I got no issue with sort of the React streaming as long as the fact that one, that they kind of like do more than just watch it. You know? There are a lot of them that always have that issue, but then other things as well is kind of like, well, you know, it's that point where it's like, if I watch anyone reacting to something, I'm watching it because I want their opinion on what they're going to react to. We'll just take the actual upgrade here rather than anything else, even if we lose the shop because we don't have really enough gold to benefit from it.
Good enough to eat.
Attack, strikes. Ooh, we can upgrade the striking. That sounds a brilliant idea. 33% chance, and let's go fight the delinquent duo.
You return at your peril, Hellspawn. You'll get no quarter here.
Oh no, what will I ever do?
Stand up. Quit it with your writhing there, Hellspawn.
But yeah, I'm kind of like what's everyone else's opinions on that? When you're sort of like watching people react to stuff, are you watching it because you want their valued opinion and stuff, or is it more of like you're watching it because you wouldn't watch it otherwise, right? I'm on the idea, the fact that I probably end up watching the content anyway because I find like some of the topics interesting, and I also value the person's opinion that I end up watching, or at least I want to know their opinion as such, right? And maybe not sometimes value it, but it might be a good idea to have a look at the other perspective as such. But I am kind of, I'm the person that's a petty person in the sense of like, if I can apply your logic one way and not the other, I find there's issues with the logic, right? It's that kind of thing. It's like, you know, 3 plus 6 is 9, so I'm assuming that 9 minus 6 is 3. And if it doesn't work like that, then there's something wrong with your math. Is that kind of petty of me sometimes? Yeah. Actually, I saw some interesting papers on the American legal side. I think it was about a woman that basically went for a promotion in her job, and she didn't get the job. Then they hired someone else, and then they demoted her afterwards, and then employed someone else of a same, basically of a different sexual orientation. Right, so the people they employ was a man and a woman to replace her, essentially, or not give her the opportunities for, but they both, one was lesbian, one was gay, and that kind of was one of those things where she obviously complained about that, which I'm kind of on the idea of the fact that something does sound fishy, like, okay, maybe she didn't get the job, that seems fine, but then to demote her afterwards, then yeah, you kind of raised a red flag there, I will admit that, you know? And then she took it to the courts and tried to get, like, a discrimination lawsuit on that. And what ended up happening was they threw it out because they were like, your class is a majority, you are now held to a higher burden of proof to be able to prove that you've been discriminated against, when that's not how the law works. The law is equal to everyone. It's not, like, the law itself is not meant to be discriminatory. And yet that's what they were doing, was applying different standards of proof based upon the fact that she was either straight, she was either white, or whatever reasons they wanted to come up with, which again was one of the awkward things, because
Is my hair sticking up?
it was kind of like all arbitrary. If you really wanted to nitpick, you could apply anything based upon whatever criteria you wanted as someone being in a majority position. Essentially, it was rules that were put in place to make sure that people didn't abuse the system in a way and undermine what they would class as minority groups, right? Or people that could be taken advantage of or disadvantaged of based upon demographic criteria. The problem was it was being used in a way to deny someone essentially due legal process when filing a complaint, because the fact that you had to try and prove to a higher standard, right? And the argument on this would be like, if you took a test at your university, everyone had different pass marks based upon the fact of what their gender was, you know, what their sexual preferences were, what their pronouns were, and everything else as well. Like, could you imagine that if a university or a school or stuff did that sort of stuff, and just how discriminatory it would be to hold someone up to a higher standard just because the fact that, you know, they were of a different race. And how dangerous that is. But yeah, that was a an interesting thing, and I found it more on the thing of like, how on earth does stuff like that still happen, right? And then I relate it back to like the fact that other people all need to have some sort of power, and it's all a power trip and everything else as well. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now.
This temple's positively crawling.
If it's a way that someone get ahead on someone, then they are normally going to do that thing that gets them ahead, right? Just use this. You know, like, why would I pay £10 so I can pay £5, you know, and then, you know, if it's nothing I'm doing is wrong while trying to get that cheaper price, then yeah, of course you're going to do it, right? That was a thing where I was just like, oh, really? Like, does no one really see, like, how that's really stupid? You know? To essentially just mean someone just because of the fact that they were a particular gender or stuff, or a race, or, you know, sexual orientation, pronouns, stuff like that. It's one of the things, like, I care what you are as a person rather than everything else that you can label yourself with, right? You're either a nice person or you're not, and your actions will dictate that based upon how you interact with other people, you know, what your thoughts on other people are, and everything else as well. And if you're a whole person, normally everything is always someone else's fault, and yeah, that's kind of a very telling, you know, it's like you go around with a chip on your shoulder, and if you do, then it's kind of like, just relax, dude. I will agree, though, I always go around with a chip on my shoulder, so...
Hey, a satyr sack already.
It's funny.
Hope this can get me out of here.
I personally just mix picks, like, because I like nitpicking and I like moaning.
Always a pleasure, Charon.
I mean, come on, I'm British. Like, what do you expect?
Alright, Lord Zeus.
There's a handful of things that I enjoy doing as being British. It's talking about the weather, asking someone how their weekend was, queuing, and moaning about stuff that I can quite easily change.
Now, I got a scuffer.
And the more easy it is for me to change, the more I like moaning about it.
Cerberus again.
Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason, are they not?
Thanks, boy. I'm here, Father. Come on.
Show me everything you've learned of how to fight.
Let's go. I think that's actually one of the things it is, because, like, me growing up and stuff, I will say I probably didn't, like, even within where I am, like, it's kind of like it's still a city and everything else, but, like, stuff is a lot more close-knit, and it's kind of still a little bit backwards, you know, good old farmer country and stuff. Not quite in the as modern day as the rest of the world and things, so... But at the same time, like, I don't think I was, like, kind of, like, completely out of all the stuff, but I never really recognized it in the same way that everyone else did, right? So, kind of like what I would probably say when I mention that is, like, my schools didn't have much diversity in the sense of, like, you know, different cultures and stuff being present and things, but it's just the way that it was with the demographic of people in my area and stuff, you know, and the average age of a person as well. But at the same time as well, it wasn't like there wasn't any diversity either. It was just a different type of it, and then, like, going to college kind of, like, opened my eyes a little bit, which was still within my city, but I was aware of it a little bit more, and more of the idea of just like, oh, okay, yeah, but I had no opinions on it. They were just people as far as I was concerned, you know? And that's all I really cared about, was like, you know, do I get along with them? Are they fun to be around? Usual stuff. I think we had a mate of mine back from, like, high school area that was from China, and they didn't speak English very well when they first came over, but you know, part of my friend group, I didn't mind. Then it's always hilarious because, like, although the English was not great, their maths was brilliant. But that was the more of the language barrier issue, right? Like, if they were probably brought up in our country, like, their English would be fine and everything else. Along with the sciences and stuff, although I think that was more of a limitation of just more of the language barrier difference again, right? It's a bit of a shame, but not much you can do. And then going to college, then I had other friends from different cultures as well and stuff like that. Just through, like, exchange programs and stuff, which was kind of nice to diversify. But I think the bigger culture shock was me going to university and then also living in a different place for a year, where the average demographic of people that were there was a lot different in cultures compared to what I was used to, right? I went from being what you class as the majority within an area to being the minority within an area, just because the demographics I lived in was different. Ooh, I died again. That's not great. Try and live. Try and live. Whew, I thought I died. A sense of panic.
I'm not as limber as I used to be, while you... Let's do this.
But yeah,
again.
It's one of the things. I don't think people are inherently hating other people. I think it's a learned behavior more than anything else as well, which is very disappointing, because it means that, you know, unless we just stop it at that point, we don't get past it. But it is what it is.
As he explores
It's a good
the
run.
wonders of the world, Prince Zagreus discovers a quaint farm in which he carelessly trespasses, stepping on a farming tool which swoops up and strikes him in the forehead, fatally.
Not a rake. I got sideshow bobbed.
I'm back. Huh.
Yeah, the build I had there is pretty much like the speedrunning build, I think. Where it's just like, yeah, you get that shield and just go ham.
I think that I can find the lounge well on my own, Hypnos. Oh, wait. What is this? Did you just ask me out?
Me? No. I'd never even think to do that, miss. I mean, you have your station, and I have mine. We're from two different worlds, you could say. Fated never to be seen together much.
Every time I talk to you, you somehow take it as a compliment. Is that correct? Then let me give you some advice for once. Stop being an idiot.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, that's a funny interaction.
Always wanted to ask you something, Father. Whose skull is that there on your shoulder? If it's not too personal.
I did not chronicle all Typhon's wretched offspring, boy. No one did. Some of them sit upon our shoulders now, lest we forget that things could easily have turned out rather differently, and much, much worse.
So these are just the remains of the spawn of the most hideous monstrosity of all time, which you and your brother slew, got it? I guess putting the dead in their place is all part of the job. I can hardly imagine what it was like before you and the Olympians took charge.
You're better off.
Prince.
I love how they talk about that, but you never really find
I
out.
wish to presume, lad, but you seem more glum than usual. What's weighing on you there, if you don't mind?
Oh, it's just... I've never slain a living creature, sir. Until my recent journey to the temple up above. I know they're just satyrs and vermin, but it's not the same as sending wretches to the depths.
Look, all mortal life is fragile. It simply is a struggle to survive. Sooner or later it fails to succeed, and then it ends up here. And we have room enough for everyone. Even the satyrs and the vermin of the world.
Now that you mention it, I have to say I'm glad we can accommodate all former living things. And at least mortals get to rest assured knowing what happens once they die. Must really ease the mind.
Indeed, lad.
That it does. Man, you really knew what would happen if you died, like we all actually knew like for a fact.
Hey Nix, I would have you know, I'm now proud owner of my very own chthonic companion. You really built them to last. Just not very many of them, apparently. I'd all but given up on ever finding one.
I sensed this outcome, and it pleases me. Though you never would have simply discovered such a thing. They each are unique artifacts that must be given willingly if they are to retain their shape and power.
I have to say, and I do mean this as a compliment, it's hard for me to imagine Night Incarnate herself fashioning these little keepsakes to be given between friends.
Do not mistake them for their unassuming look. Within them is the strength of an unbreaking bond between two souls conjoined.
And I just adore them.
Oh, yes. Dusa!
Just making sure the lounge...
Good for you. Take this.
Dusa, I was thinking that this batch of ambrosia ought to hold the lounge over for quite a while. Keep things livelier for everyone. And please, take a bottle for yourself, won't you? As a token of my affection.
Oh, you said your affection, huh? Wow. I really like you also, Zagreus. I liked you from the start. You were so different from your father and Miss Nix, I could just tell, but... Wait, what am I saying? I am such a dummy. You're just being friendly with me, right?
No, Dusa, you're adorable.
I would be more than that if it pleased you. You're very wonderful, and you light up this house. But I would never risk our friendship, so if this is where we draw the boundary, please, just let me know.
Wait. Did you just say I'm wonderful?
Is that what you got from that?
I did indeed. And I'm glad to get it off my chest, if you must know. Though, what about you? How do you feel?
Wow, I never thought you'd have those kinds of feelings for somebody like me. It's really nice to hear. It makes me feel complete. But, Zagreus, I don't know if I can be what you need. I mean, wait, you weren't just being nice to me for all this time because...
What? No, do so. Of course not. why is it so damn difficult to share one's feelings with somebody else? I don't want to ruin what we have. If only you could see what's in my heart.
Oh, I was just checking. Don't feel bad, okay? You don't seem capable of hiding what's in your heart. And I mean that in the best possible way. I'm so happy. It's just, all this is a lot, and I'm on duty right now, but see you soon.
Oh, poor Dusa, you're adorable.
Of the day. I'm much obliged.
Ah, the character interactions. I always do love them. They are so genuine every single time. Every single time. Now, can I buy anything from this? Not yet. Nothing from there as well. I guess that is it for this run here. Bit of a nice talky run. Chilling out, relaxing, moaning about stuff. Usual things that I end up doing when I am bored.
Through all that, the way to the surface.
But yeah, again, if you do enjoy these videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.